This beautiful Gothic cathedral behind me is Westminster Abbey. It's one of the most famous and iconic historical landmarks here in downtown London, right across the street from Parliament and Big Ben. It's also the final resting place of some of British history's most illustrious figures for 1,000 years. These people were kings and politicians. They were aristocrats and scientists, artists, poets, and musicians. As I was going through the list of the people that are buried here, most of the names were totally unfamiliar. But every now and then I would come across a name that was absolutely larger than life. I'm talking about people like Sir Isaac Newton, William Wilberforce, and Charles Darwin and David Livingstone. And you know, these men, though they're memorialized here in their death, they're really known because of what they lived for. These men were like rocket boosters pushing forward a particular cause or a particular purpose. And like rocket boosters that push a space shuttle into orbit, their lives have now fallen away. But the ones we know because they lived for a purpose and for a cause that was bigger than their own lives. Just inside the building here, on the south choir aisle, there's a plaque to John and Charles Wesley that says this: "God buries his workmen, but carries on his work." Actually, the Wesley brothers are a great example of what I'm talking about, because the Wesley brothers' lives were dedicated to the work of God. They were like rocket boosters in God's hands. They've been dead for many generations, but the kingdom of God is still moving forward. And the small part that they played in advancing the kingdom of God makes their lives meaningful and significant. Before he died, Paul said to Timothy, "I'm already being poured out like a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand." You see, to Paul, he saw his life as expendable for the sake of the kingdom of God. Yes, he would be poured out like a drink offering, and then he would fall away like exhausted rocket boosters, but not without having first done something of eternal significance. Paul would use his little mortal, finite life to propel God's eternal kingdom forward. And that knowledge to Paul was complete satisfaction. You know, the reality is that we're all expending our lives. We're all going through the finite fuel that we've been given. Yet many people give so little thought to what it is that they're actually living for. But the clock is ticking, and every second that passes is a second that can never be recovered. So let me ask you, my friend, what is it that you're living for? What is it that's going to make your life count? What is it that you're pushing forward with your energy, your time, your finances, and your passion? The truth is that all of us are living for something. We're all pushing something forward. We're all making a difference in this world, for better or for worse. But you only have one life. I hope that you're investing it wisely.